I think you should all give yourselves a round of applause. I know every Nigerian is very economical with everything now, the prices of things. But when it comes to applause for yourself, don't economize and give yourselves a good round of applause. It was something that some people thought there was going to be a bill. As the Grandmaster said, we'll now move into the press interaction of the media. Let me just move towards this region so that members of the press who are here, I'd like to recognize them. We have from Radio Nigeria Lagos, Mr. John Odos. Am I correct? And we have from the Nation newspaper. I can't see the first name, but the surname is Zero. Please. I will have from News Agency of Nigeria, Uchenna Elecho. Thank you very much. We also recognize Dr. Adekumi Akinbo of TNS Africa. Please let's give him one round of applause. Although at this time his wing has begun to weather out, he is almost now part of us.
So, welcome you, and I thank you for your patience, cooperation, and passion in which you share this day with us. So, as you see, the Western Zonal Conclave brings together our members, and we do this across the country. And we rotate it to all the zones, we take the zones of the various states that will host this conclave. These are members of our order, invited guests, media, the public, and it's all about the engagement on the relationship between initiatives, individual responsibility, collective unity, and national development. The program has included panel discussions, which you have been part of, and the engagement now with you. And we try to see how we can keep this dialogue going. You've experienced our many focus, which we will do anyway for nation building, so where we pick a topic every month and we focus on that topic. This month is sincerity, but since the themes about unity, we combine that to have this. Why does it matter? We try to build society on the two pillars, the individual and society, that is competency and character. And when we bring these two together, we form a third thing, and that is capacity. You see from that third pillar is something that we want to focus on, because through the bridging of these two pillars, of competency and character, when you connect them, the institutions we form will help us shape these two aspects. So across Nigeria, West Africa, and the world generally, and continents, etc., societies are facing pressures, as you know. And the economic strain, the cost of living challenges, the youth unemployment and uncertainty, insecurity and social issues that we've been talking about, and the declining trust in institutions. So we also have digital misinformation, and we are becoming more and more polarized, right, instead of being more unified. These challenges may differ, but they are consistent across regions. So we share a common thread, and a common opportunity to ensure that we, rather than weaken this alignment, we strengthen it so that freedom and responsibility become a shared purpose. So this is what I want to say, to introduce some of the things. There's a lot to be said, because for national and global progress to sustain, it's not about just policies and the work we are doing. We need to build character, integrity, discipline, accountability. You're speaking about it yourself. Consciousness, that is an awareness through informed decision making, through reflection. What we're trying to do is for you to contemplate, spend some moments to contemplate, because that will, you see, bringing about something inside of you. You're starting to do some hard work inside of you through that. And then that will lead to cohesion, which is more of the shared purpose we are looking for. Because we're quite diverse, right? So if you don't give something to unify us, it's difficult. What's that identity? We'll be speaking about that. So our engagement today speaks to that, and we are trying to make sure that we shake the system with this conclave. So you will help us in doing that. And so I will say that the future of any nation is not secured by just louder voices, right? But by clearer minds, by stronger character, and by shared responsibility. So to clarify, when I spoke to the young brother, I remember, it's not bad to Japan, there's nothing bad about it, but I realized, as I said, so long as you come back. So long as you come back and bring all that you have, yes, it's when you come back, it's fine. So I think with that, I will open up for you to engage. Yes, so you still take.
No, in most cases, they are more convenient with one person, so they will be directing the questions
to me.
Yeah. So, the ball is in your court now. Where is mine? I need to ask.
Thank you, sir. My name is John Obote, and I work for Radio Nigeria. Sir, what is the place of religion in unity and freedom and national progress? Because Christianity, Muslim, and traditional worship, they all lead us to God. But instead of unity across the country, we're having division, we're having hatred, one ethnic group against another. What is the place of religion in bringing us all together in this country?
Thank you. That's a very, very powerful question. I would want to immediately jump in and tell you that there is nothing, I won't say wrong, there was nothing wrong really with that. In fact, that was supposed to give us a purpose, an identity, strengthen us. But what have we seen? We have seen that when you tribalize religion, commercialize religion, when you make it into some sort of transaction, we see it, but we not paid attention. We see it and we give reason. Like, oh, we rationalize it. Oh, we must be okay, materiality is so, we say those things. It's lost its course. People are dissatisfied because we can see the hypocrisy, the dogmatism, the fanaticism. We don't call it out, we cover it. That's what happens. It has its place and its purpose. It has its value. So when you look at it, where did it come from? We had our own traditional ways, but we decided to inherit others, right? We threw away our own traditional way, and we inherited what is not ours. We are suffering an identity crisis. We see it all the time. If you ask a tradition, ask anybody, an indigene, a local person, to do certain things, local, I don't believe in it, I don't, but they know inside of them, they know that the potency of it lies inside of you. But if you give them religion, they tribalize it, because they feel like they can do whatever, you'll be forgiving. Such things lead us to, I won't call it deceit, but lead you to some sort of erroneous sort of path. We need to be accountable, responsible. How we layer that with religion and with the belief systems, and how that is enshrined in society and communal practices, it's important to pay attention. You just said it about what we should do with community parenting, but we must educate. So education is missing. We must educate the parents. We were speaking a lot some time ago about the Guild of Women and the role of sitting around and getting wisdom and advice from elders. They show you a lot of things. The patience, the resilience for the young ones or for the parents. If you haven't educated the parents, what will they teach their children? So why have we lost all of that? You've got to go back. You say, the question that was asked by your colleague was, where did we go wrong? But in doing that, don't look where you fell, look where you slipped. error we make is that we tend to look where we fell and look there for the answer. We should look where we slipped. And that's why we talk about going back to the basics. The grassroots, you heard a lot about going back to the fundamental unit, which is the family. Going back to there, what are we seeing in society? Where did they come from? I remember so much. Andrew, don't check out. I don't know that you're going to bring that back.
Okay.
Andrew, don't check out.
Say what?
I remember, what's his name on Newsline? He said it's 9 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? When we talk about natural meditation, all the work you are doing, you need to go back to those things, the fundamentals. If your child comes back with, I don't know, stream of money, cars, and all the what and you don't say, I know you didn't do that, so how did you get this? And people say, the people that are authorized to say these things, like, you can go and find your own, or, they tease you. It's become, as Nigeria has happened to us, right? It has become now the norm. Society has now deviated. But go back to the cause. Every other place is a church. There's nothing wrong with that if it turns around productivity. We teased about the story we saw during COVID, where an ATM machine is broken and people were, throwing prayer on the devil on it. You think, okay, this is the problem we're having. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying religion is a fundamental unit of society. But when it is tribalized, commercialized, tribal, all the things we're talking about, ethnicized, all of that, we lead to this place. So please, we need to pay attention. We need to take responsibility for where we are heading, not give it to the devil. We need to take responsibility for all of the things that have happened and educate ourselves. We need education, not just about, science and so on, but about character, capacity building. The things we mentioned, consciousness, awareness, ability to look back at what you are doing and accept that you are part of this problem and can be part of the solution. So that's where the work is. But who is ready to work? Today we all want the shortcut, we want smart working, but nobody wants to go through the hard school anymore of imbibing these values. So as a value-based organization, that's what we are trying to make sure we do with our members, to develop themselves. So let's look where we slipped, not where we fell, to find the reasons for why this institution, which is a beautiful institution, to have a belief in something, is supposed to guide us. When you go into a church, we talked about it just here, where, how is it possible we go to the traffic light, and everything you did in the church, you throw it away. You see people jumping the queue. So, though it's not a good thing to go back to because it was introduced by the military, go back to that word that was done in the 80s by Diagon called War Against Indiscipline. It wasn't implemented correctly because it discriminated. You read the whole critical view of it. But it's very important work. It looks across the identity, our culture, how we are, and said if you adjust these things, your national identity will be very powerful. But we didn't adjust it. Instead, we criticized it and we threw everything away. Yes, away. They made an assessment of the Nigerian condition and came up with those 5 key points. Number 1, the history was queuing. We still see it today. Children are the ones jumping the queue now. They push you out. You don't exist. They push you out. Work ethic. We are still struggling with work ethic till now. The attitude to work. And if the institutions you're talking about are not helping us be productive, be efficient, be sincere, the things you mentioned, be tolerant. How many Christians have read the Islamic books? How many of them? They don't. How many of us do we know? But the Muslims know a lot about us. So where is that tolerance? It's not exchanging properly. So we have work to do. I think someone said that we have a lot of work to do. And we can stay here, continue to list all of this, but that's where we must look to those things, the fundamentals. Okay.
My question was, in a country
your characteristics and all those things. How do you survive in this solution? Talking about Nigeria, in this solution.
So the Rosicrucian method, my brother, is to contemplate, reflect on your question, reflect deeply. Where is the frustration coming from? Who is responsible, or how am I responsible? See, because one of the things that we said here is it's okay to always look outwardly, like you say. You are right, if you feel it's someone else, there's somebody out there. The little droplets of water that make the ocean, right? We'll always say it's the ocean's problem, right? But who is the ocean? It's the leader's problem. And we've looked at it. Yes, on one side of the discussion, the leader is critical to what, or leaders are critical to putting that narrative correct. They need to correct it. So today, what is the tax, right? What is the problem with that? You are going to be charged more if you earn a particular bandwidth. You are going to have more accountability. They are going to ensure that revenue is done properly so that we can all enjoy public. But where are they? So there's a trust problem. Nigerians have a trust problem. You want to go for a job interview, but you feel already that they've already given the job to some people. So it's who you know. Ask, well, what about qualification? No, it doesn't matter. This is what someone that was driving a taxi. He said, I'm an engineer, but I'm a taxi driver. I said, oh, can't you get a job? He said, but I don't know anybody. I said, you don't need to know anybody. But there's a problem. There's a problem of trust. Who is responsible? We need to stop looking outside of us. Start in your own small sphere, your neighborhood. When you go somewhere for a service and they don't give you a receipt, or they ask you what, how much to put in the receipt. Tell me how much you want me to put. What are they doing? When you don't stand up and say, excuse me, when someone jumps the queue and only one of us, and then others who are scrambling because you have to get on the plane because you already don't trust. You don't trust that if you are trying to fight for another person, you may likely even lose your own seat. You see the problems, you see how it's starting, how we have gone into this big wave of the ocean, and now we have lost what each droplet is contributing to. So we must return to that basic of what can I do? No longer what Nigeria, what am I going to do? In your little sphere, you are creating what you are, or enabling it if you do it, if you keep quiet. So we do have work to do on that level. Your neighborhood, it starts everywhere in your fundamental life. Do you know that because you have not thought hard enough about it, I'm sure you don't even notice it anymore. It's normal. Do you know what we say? It's how we do things in Nigeria. We are proud to say that that's our national identity. It's how we do things in Nigeria. But we are very interested because you see us go to where society is organized and we conform. But we are ready to throw out bottles on our road. But we will not do it somewhere else. And when you ask somebody, they are even the effrontery to tell you that, oh, somebody will come and clean it. Are you seeing the issue? There's an entitlement to all of this that has formed our culture and our identity. How do you stop that? And it's not from now. It's been predicted from the leaders of before, from the first coup. They said there's a whole mental re-insurgence into Nigeria that needs to happen for us to change our thinking completely. Because it's the way around. You know what is worse than no education? What is worse than no education is bad education. Because you have to scrub up the bad education to have room to put in good education or the right education in. So that's the task. We just need to call it out. What do you want to stand for? Stop looking at the numbers. Stop looking at who supports you or not. Stand for, because it is wrong whether there are nobody or there's 10 million people. It's wrong. Or it is right because it's no. So don't look at the numbers, which is what we were told about democracy, right? It supports rather this whole idea that if you have a lot of people, 78 million people, on your side, then you can do whatever you want to do. So that's where the work is. Please, I'm still putting the charge on us because that's what you can control. How are you going to control the structure, the enterprise? It starts with each of us. I don't know, they do it on, I've said this many times, when you watch a program where nobody is dancing, I think you see it on YouTube or this channel, nobody is dancing on the beach, and people are saying, you know, but one person gets up and everybody's laughing at the person. Because when you're dancing alone, it looks funny. So they start looking at you because you start feeling, is it me? Is it me that's going to change this? I think I came to meet you, I can only do my bit, I'm not God. And we give all this rationalization. But he starts dancing, and then 20 minutes later, the whole beach is dancing. But it takes the resilience, it takes the confidence, the ability to believe in yourself that you have to make that difference. Taking ownership for it. How do we inspire you? That's why we spend the time doing this. We could be somewhere else screaming and shouting, but we spend the time to reflect, to consider, to contemplate, to meditate on things so that we get the inspiration from within, from the God of your heart and your own understanding. You need that inspiration. You need imagination. You need inspiration. You need intuition to be able to get illumination. When an illumined or enlightened person moves forward, you carry the crowd with you. So become illumined, brother, and watch what will happen. You will see the whole ocean beginning to gravitate because of the work you have done on yourself. Correct?